This is a gallery. This is an artist on Maui, and you know Maui's the hot spot, by the way. It has been for many, many years. That's where the action is. It's not on the Big Island. It's certainly not on Oahu. I think it's not here particularly, but Maui is just 5 or 6 locations where you could sell work. So that's kind of what's going on there. Nevertheless, we'll talk about getting into galleries like that if you wish. But I want to rewind a little bit. There's one gallery owner, I think his name is Vidal. He does these large, kind of throw it in the canvas. They're thousands of dollars. So you go into his gallery just for the, and all of a sudden it's 9 o'clock in the morning and there's honeymooners or whatever. Because Maui's like here. It's a playland too. People feel good. You're there, you're with your honey, with etc. Maybe it's different than your other life, and that's happening here. I'm going to parallel what happens here in Hawaii happens on Maui also. People come to the islands for all of the above. Your goal is for them to see a work that moves them, that touches their heart, that they want to take back with them, a memory, an experience. And that's what your focus basically will be. Now, I'm not saying you have to do pictures of leaping whales, etc. And I tell people when they walk into my gallery, I'm in Volcano, I'm a good 4,000 feet. The vernacular of that place is the forest, is the birds, is the volcano. Artists come often to the gallery. Can I show you my work? I'd love to see your work. And it has to do with sea level. It has to do with floral. It's not from this place. So when you are investigating galleries, by the way, go in the gallery, spot it out, make like you're an accidental tourist, and see what other artists are doing or what they're looking for. Is it abstract? Is it humorous? How colorful it is, etc. Those are things you need to do your homework on when you go into a gallery, etc. So I love artists coming into the gallery, and if I don't like it, I'll tell them about what I like or what I don't like, and maybe it's a crappy frame, and how about changing that? But I always want to encourage artists, and getting back to you, getting advice from galleries is really good, and you do your homework before you get there. As I mentioned, we talk about a portfolio. Yes, I have a little mini portfolio. It doesn't really show much work, but it talks about where I live and my cat, and all of a sudden it's you're not just a painter. There's a story. So everything you do has to involve and integrate that story we spoke about. Okay?
So it sounds like you kind of have to settle on a specific medium and genre.
Not at all. Au contraire. I do ceramic masks. We're very mixed media today. And it used to be a problem, but perhaps it wasn't. In ancient times, in the little village, would be a farmer, and then and then he would play musician. He would play music at night. His wife would weave. Here in America, we're so specialized. And that could be bad or it could be good. I'm mixed media, and that's the first thing. What do you do, Ira? I do mixed media. I do ceramic masks that I've done for many years because I've been involved in dance, and it started with props, and I talk of that series and what it moved me to do them. And then I talk about I'm very, very, very much into recycling. And a lot of the work I do is all recycled art. And of course that's very big. You can call it different titles. Some of it in Europe or in New York, it's called outsider art. There's some pieces in this show that are like that. Okay? That's big. What is that criteria? The criteria for outsider art is someone that is not trained. A lot of galleries, the first thing they'll ask you, do you have training? Are you, did you go to school? In the old days, that was everything. No longer. Self-taught is big. Self-taught is very big, especially if your work is kind of primitive, etc., or quirky, or has a religious denote something religious or spiritual. There's different categories. So getting back to being mixed media or being in in a box. Yes, you can be in a box, or else you could be someplace else. That's okay today. It wasn't always the case. Any questions? Okay. We're talking about. Remember, I asked you if you had a studio. It's in the bedroom.
Me if I have
Okay,
a studio.
you have a bedroom,
Yes,
etc.
I do.
Okay. The reason I asked that is I have with my gallery, and there's pictures of it. It's very rich. There's a lot of stuff going on. I've done it both ways, where I've sold work where I live, or made work where I live, or separated it. Think about that. Is there a spot? Sometimes it's really nice, and no judgment here, because it can work either way. But sometimes one would leave one's life and go to a separate space to do art. And that has its advantages, and perhaps some disadvantages. Mostly the disadvantages would be when it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you're hungry, and you know there's a lovely meal at your house, and there you are with a couple of potato chip bags. You get the picture? But basically, having your own space is very important. And I tell people, even if it's a kitchen table, or a small space, or here in Kauai, no problem. You could be undercover, etc. But having your own space and what that will look like, and how you keep it, and where your materials are very actually important to your success.